income from the mules, I should say. And still 3 Immortals, a bunch of Stalkers, and 1 Sentry trying to push up this ramp, but it's just not happening. At this time, he is taking in his expansion as well. Now, when you're doing a timing push in this situation, you really want to decide whether you want to go all in or whether you want to get your expansion up. Since ClouD did not have his expansion up, I probably would have foregone my expansion and just continued to warp in and push in a little bit harder. He could have added on another gateway or 2, saved this 400 minerals, 500 minerals with this pylon, and probably pushed in and still took that for a win. But now that ClouD does have a couple medevacs out on the field, he will be able to heal up all these units. Still with 4 barracks, well, about to have 4 barracks. Does he have a ghost out on the field? Units tab. He does have a ghost, so that is going to be imperative for him. He is gathering up that energy. Once he gets up to enough energy, he'll be able to use that EMP and take out a large portion of the Protoss army. And right now, nothing is being researched at either of the Ghost Academies, and I'm imagining that was a mistake. He probably didn't mean to put up 2 Ghost Academies unless he wanted to go nukes, but he hasn't researched 1 nuke at all, so I don't see that happening. Flying his command center, or his orbital command center, over to his natural expansion to get his income up and running. Probably going to see, yes, some SCV transfer coming up. That is going to be imperative to keep your income on the level with the Protoss player, as the Protoss HuK is quite a ways ahead on harvesters. 15 harvesters ahead. He is just pumping out probes right now. But at this time, it looks like ClouD, who was more focusing on the army, may do a push. No, he just takes out that forward proxy pylon and then retreats to play it safe. The Ghost is nearing that sweet spot where he'll have 2 AMPs, and once he's got 2 AMPs, it is going to be absolutely overpowered. All of these Zealots, Immortals, Sentries are going to lose all of their shields and energy, and at that point the Protoss player needs to retreat his army because he just cannot compete with all the Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs that ClouD has right now without his shields intact. And getting a little bit caught off guard here. Does not have the speed upgrade for the Zealots quite yet. Or maybe he does. Yes, he does have the charge, so that was very helpful. All these units are going to target the Zealots, while the main army of his does wear down the Terran army. But he did get a nice EMP off on those Immortals, took all 3 Immortals shields right off, and was able to clean up that force fairly easily. And now reinforcing with another 9 or 8 Marines, a couple Marauders, he is looking to push out even further. And it looks like HuK may be in trouble. He does not have the army to deal with this. Trying to quickly warp in and chrono boost some mortals out, but it is not going to be enough. He needs the force field. Ooh, another EMP coming down on these sentries, and they're going to be in trouble, but I think they were able to use up most of their force fields in time, and these force fields are now not in a good position as they're preventing these units from reinforcing this natural expansion. And if he plays this right, ClouD will be able to take out the Nexus and a majority of the probes, but it looks like he's just going to focus on the probes, and now the Zealots are getting in close. ClouD's in a little bit of trouble here. He's not doing the attack and move very effective because of the force fields, and it looks like this medevac here is going to die if he isn't too careful. No, these sentries are not going to be able to target it down, while the Marauders were just getting finished off. Couple more medics out on the field now for, sorry, not medics, medevacs for ClouD. Probably maybe want to use them for a drop. It's hard to say. Right now you may want to use the immobility of HuK's forces, whether they're having to bounce up and down across this field. You can really abuse that with some drops. HuK now warping in some High Templar that he's going to morph into, or merge into Archons. And he doesn't have Psionic Storm being researched, so I think that's kind of a mistake as well. The Psionic Storm is kind of a big thing here to combat these Marines and Marauders, and they are going to get up this ramp and cause a lot of damage. But no, nice force fields, although once again I'm not really too happy with the force fields. He didn't have any Zealots to get in close and trap these units in and do some damage. He just had range units, so really ClouD I don't think was planning on backing out of that anyways. But he did save a couple units with the medevacs, and the probes are coming off the line to finish off these Marines. The medevac does get away with a few Marauders and a few Marines. They're going to be able to cause a little bit of damage up here in the main base, and it looks like they're going to take out this pylon, and if that does, yes, the robotics facility does go unpowered along with 1 gateway, so that is going to be a very big problem for HuK. although the medevac does get taken out now, so the units cannot retreat. But still, very good exchange for ClouD as he took out the robotics facility completely and the pylon that was powering a couple of those buildings. So not being able to produce any more Immortals, he may be a little bit in trouble, although it looks like he's going to more focus on Archons and Sentries with a couple Zealots, a couple Stalkers, and more Zealots. Zealots, of course, are very effective against Marines and Marauders if they have their Zealot charge, but I have to say with the medevacs, they just don't do enough damage to really compensate for the medevacs and the healing that they can do. So I think HuK's in a little bit of trouble here. He's left to try to replenish all of his probes. He's really, really low on probes here at his at his main base, whereas the income tab shows that, yes, ClouD is drastically ahead. 1,500 to 900 minerals per minute, and although I guess HuK is a little bit ahead on gas, ClouD really doesn't need that, and Cloak is not finished here for these ghosts, so this ghost may be in trouble. He does get an EMP off on these sentries. It didn't quite, oh yes it did hit the Archon, although it only takes 100 of the shields off. It's not completely lethal, but it does take their effectiveness down by almost a third. And Cloak, I believe, yes, it is being researched now, so once he activates Cloak, those ghosts will be very, very effective. He can sneak them in, and he could even nuke if he did research that, but he has not yet. And it looks like he's going to be looking to do a drop here with a couple Marauders and 4 Marines, and that may just be kind of a distraction here while maybe he takes his main force into the front choke of HuK's area. And ClouD's taking a third base now, so that's going to put him up even further in the economic advantage. And this drop, I need to watch this. It is coming in, so it's impending. And at the same time, a ghost is coming in, puts a nice scan down to make sure there's no observers, and he's now just going to start sniping off some units. Very nice EMP on the sentries to stop them from getting any Guardian shields off, and at the same time, this force is coming in for ClouD. The medevac goes in a little too early and does get killed, but the units do stim up, and without Guardian Shield or Force Fields, this army is just going to absolutely roll over top of these units. The units were stimmed, so they were able to move through the Psystorm fairly effectively. The one ghost is now down to just a few energy. He's going to uncloak and going to get killed, but ClouD is going to focus down the Nexus, and wow, did that drop fast. The stimmed Marauders and Marines take out buildings just so fast, and it looks like HuK's going to be able to clean this up. But now with his natural expansion gone, and I believe there is still units left in this medevac, if he can use that and take out some more buildings here, that'll pretty much be GG. I don't know what HuK can really do to come back from this, especially now that ClouD is getting a planetary fortress here at this third base, and once that is up and running, it pretty much cements the win for him, as HuK does not nearly have enough units to break through a planetary fortress right now. He's got no air units, and he is going to engage his planetary fortress and then retreat, realizing that he is just SOL. He does GG, and ClouD takes game 1. So very good back and forth game. I think HuK could have took the game if he would have focused a little more on the push, maybe gone a little more all-in style. The Protoss timing pushes with the robotics facility and gateways are so effective, just for the fact that if you time it right, you can get some extra units out of the gateways and warp gates really fast. And with Chrono Boost, you can get units out really fast from your robotics facility as well. And yeah, it's just really effective, as their tier 1 and tier 2 units are so strong compared to a lot of the other races like the Marines and the Marauders. But anyways, game 2 coming up for you guys right away. Stay tuned.